Welcome to Soaring Eagle. This is literally mine and my wife Bria's brand new lodge, wedding venue, and private pickleball club, as well as the Super Factory, my brand new educational center that just opened 2 days ago. Excited to give you guys a full walkthrough of everything that we've done. We've taken a Golden Girls 7,200 square foot, 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, turned it into 10 bedrooms, added 2 additional bathrooms, a game room, a movie theater. We've got 2 hot tubs, we've got 2 saunas, we've got a indoor pickleball court. There's a lot of stuff that we've added to this property. This has been our biggest project we've ever tackled, by far.
Yes.
And I haven't seen my lovely wife for 11 days until today. We've been going back and forth between Nashville, taking care of our kids. She's been here working diligently. And one of the things that's been the most challenging for us is we had to start, stop, because we inherited like 3 weddings. 4 weddings,
yeah.
Which kind of sucks. Big shout out to Sean and April Mahoney, who own Mahoney Construction here in Whitefish, Montana. It's about the 5th project we've done with them. Thank God they have a lot of faith in the good Lord and are devout Christians, because if they weren't, they probably would have quit after the second turnover.
It was thank goodness to April and her scheduling, because she's the one that had a schedule for between every single one, kept them on track, cleaned up, got out every time. So yes.
So we're going to walk you through every room of the house. We're going to walk you through the Super Factory. We're going to show you the backyard, everything, and we're going to explain in detail the intention of what we've done here. And I just want to prelude this. You are not going to see full-size, the life-size chess games in the backyard.
No.
You're not going to see things that have not improved this property. So we paid $2.7 million for this property, have had 4 agents and an appraiser here in the last few weeks, and we were initially shooting for a $300,000 budget and to turn this into about a $3.8 million to $4 million. I think we've ended up spending close to $800,000, over $800,000. You know the budget. What is the number?
We're about $1 million.
After?
Yes. Well, of renovation, because of all the dirt. And see, this is what happens when he gets involved.
I feel the heart palpitations. I've been telling people we're at like 800. So we spent $1 million.
Yeah, this is what happens when he gets involved. I would have kept it at 300.
Now I got to redo the cash-on-cash return and everything. Thank God this is estimated to be worth about $5 to $5.2 million. So we are in $2.7 million purchase, $1 million after purchase for renovation. So we're literally in $3.7 million roughly. But we've got about a $5 million valuation on the property. So that's a good thing. So one of the lessons I'm going to start you off with is we always design with intention to flip or sell the property as a second home. And let me explain this to you. Those of you that are going in and just designing for cash flow and adding all those crazy amenities that are very expensive or impossible to unwind, box yourself in to where you can only sell as an STR. And think about this. If you're an investor and you see an STR on Zillow or whatever, what do you immediately think when it's for sale? Oh, it sucks. It's underperforming.
They're not making money. They have to sell it.
And you all feel that way. You can go into any home and STR Homes for Sale Facebook group. You go on Zillow. You can talk to Madeline Blom. You can talk to Avery Carl, Tyler Kuhn. They'll all try to tell you, hey, this is underperforming, whatever. But in the back of your head, you're thinking it's not making any money. So across the highway last year, we paid $2.8 million for a property that we had hosted B&B camp at. And we had to sell it in 7 months. And we made $600,000. We sold it for $3.4 million because of the intention of the way that we designed. So it starts right here. You see that siding right there, Caleb? That's basically was all worn out. The doors, you notice we came in, we repainted the doors.
The doors were green.
They were green.
Yeah.
And they're painted black now. And Caleb, if you get a shot of how nice the grass is, we'll show them the backyard. Look over here to the left where the new ski run's going to be going in. You know, everything has been completely upgraded. So let's take them inside, Bria, and you can start off in the family room.
All right, so this is the formal living room, dining room area. As you can see from the before, the lovely red carpet, all the colors everywhere, the brass light fixtures throughout. What we did, I will preface by saying too, just on this main floor, when we bought this house, when he says it was Golden Girls, he's not joking. It was like walking into a time warp in the early 90s. There were about 8 different types of flooring and about 7 or 8 different wall colors just on the main floor.
Caleb, if you turn around and get a shot of this doorway, not only was this like a scratched up old green doors and the stuff, but this was like a mint green paint all around it.
Just that one wall was like mint green. This wall was brown. This wall was red. This one was tan. It was all over the place.
Look, not only look at the carpet, but look at the colonial columns that were in there. So Caleb, these are those 2 columns, right? This is, custom wood columns that we had custom built. It's not, some prefab. We went and picked out the wood, and she wanted this exact, like, kind of rough hewn type of look, right? And this is something we have in our personal home in Nashville. Let me show you another thing if you flip around. Just kind of coming over to the stair. Look at these stairs right here. The old spindles, the red flower carpet, custom iron. Hear that? Custom iron railings all throughout the property. And when I say throughout the property, it's on all 3 floors here, and it's also matching in the super
venue.
factory.
Yes.
Look at that.
Basic firebox. Yeah. It was just a basic little
Now show them that one.
So it was just a small firebox that literally just sat on the ground with a colonial white wood column mantle glued to the wall behind it. And there was just nothing special about it. So what we did is we ripped that out. We added the electric fireplace, but we added the threshold on the bottom part and then raised the fireplace. So it wasn't just sitting on the ground. That adds height to begin with, the mantle. And then what we did is we boxed it in and we did the chevron pattern, but we did it also in an upward pattern. So it draws the eye up. This is a very large room and we want to take advantage of the ceiling and the height here. So we wanted to draw the eye up. And I kept it simple by just putting that simple elk skull and antlers on there so that it didn't take away from the beauty of the actual fireplace itself.
Go back to this photo right here and just look at the white colonial columns dated, and then just look at the standard hallway here. Get them a shot. Look at right here. Painted black, see the contrast, and then look at the light fixtures that Bria put in.
So the reason I painted the ceiling black was not only because it's the 5th surface, you want to add things to the ceiling as well, but I also wanted the light fixtures to stand out. So the light fixtures are a nice antique gold brushed color, and so they pop with the black behind them. And then we went through 4 different bulbs trying to find the right color, and this one was the only one that actually projected the shadows onto the ceiling, which adds more pattern to it. So that's what we did here.
And then how do you tie this into that?
Well, once again, the ceilings, the reason we did it dark is because I wanted the light fixture to pop. I wanted it shut. If it was just a white ceiling, you wouldn't really notice the light fixture too much. So by doing that, it makes the light fixture pop. If you look through those windows, that's Glacier National Park through there, those mountain ranges. So this light fixture reminded me of like kind of ice cubes, glaciers. And so that kind of ties in with the glaciers right outside that window there.
So everything in this house is designed all around those views.
Yes.
So the wedding venue is named Whitefish Peaks. On a clear day, which we can't see today, you can see the 3 peaks in the glacier. Even when we get into the backyard and we spend about $15,000 on rocks alone, you're going to see what Bria did with extreme intent. The intention is what's really critical.
Yeah.
Now, there's only 2 things that I really participated in the design of this house. This is one of them. I actually got to pick out the dining table.
The dining table and chairs.
And folks, this is something that I think most of you don't do. You don't get a bigger, bolder chairs on your end chairs, right? The dining table is standalone down on like the 3rd level of, what's the name of the store? It's not Bitney's. Bitney's, yeah. And then these were up in the front, and I'm like, these would go with it. This looks kind of cool.
So we picked them up, walked them down the floor, and set it next to the table, and it worked.
And the only other thing I did is this. And I had a little bit of help from Chris.
I had a lot of help.
So a lot of help, so I can't do anything. So you can come and zoom in here, Chris. This is like the ski room, right? So you can put your skis, your snowboards, your gear, all this type of stuff. Put your helmets, everything up top. Now that it's built, I can easily take this and configure this for like fly fishing, hiking gear, that type of stuff. So it can be seasonal and multifunctional as opposed to just having standard closet space.
You didn't mention the boot warmers.
Yeah, I mean, can you see those, Caleb? You can see the Chris's ski boots. The boot warmers are in there and everything, and then gravity grabbers for the snowboards and the skis and all that type of stuff. So it just makes it way easier for the family of 8, 12 people that are going to be here to take advantage of that. So let's walk them down to my favorite piece of artwork in this house. And Caleb, if you show them a shot of the pink kind of half bathroom here.
Oh, yes.
And then why don't you walk in there and kind of show him the bathroom.
Yeah, it was a beautiful sight, and the lovely rose wallpaper on the ceiling. So I'm always telling people to add a pop of unexpected fun, and a half bathroom is usually a great place to do that. It's a small space, you don't have to overdo it. And in here, we put a fox. Have a happy poop, he's reading. So it's something fun, but it's small. It didn't take a lot of money, it didn't take a lot of effort.
But once again, the intent.
Fox hand towel holder.
Then as we come into the kitchen, these are some of our inner circle members. Don't mind them. We're getting ready to have a couple of day session here, but we didn't do a whole lot. So the cabinets were in really great shape.
Yep, left the handles.
Talked about doing some different pools and everything, but it matches your overall design. So one of the things that's super important about the way that you do design and sourcing is we try to go to the highest level that we need to go to, but we don't want to go too far on our budget. That's your restoration hardware design on a HomeGoods budget,
Yes.
right? So what did we change in the kitchen? Really only like a couple of things.
The countertops. If you look in here real quick on this bar, these were the countertops throughout the house. That is a very early 90s Home Depot granite that everybody had. So we wanted to brighten up the kitchen. So we redid this was 4 slabs of quartz it took. So not only did we do the countertops, we did it the backsplash, so we ran it up, and we had the electrician hide the outlets up underneath, so there weren't outlets cut out through the backsplash. So little things like that, which is good for resale value when somebody comes.
Yeah, you're not going to generate any more higher ADR or cash flow from a rental standpoint, but when we had the intent of building a $5 million property to basically double the value of what we paid for it, we have to do those types of things. And it was Trevor from Asher Electric, it was the one that had the idea to put the outlets up here, right?
That was ours, but there also wasn't lights under there before, so we added that. It adds a little brightness to it, and there's electrical all the way across the top of all the cabinets. So if we ever want to add lighting up there, or do like people when they buy their house, they want Christmas stuff, there are outlets up there as well.
So one of the big things you can see over here is when you look at this countertop, this was a pony top, and we dropped the pony. Anytime that we invest, doesn't matter if it's a $400,000 condo that I showed everybody yesterday, or if it's a $2.7 million house, we are always going to drop the pony top every single time.
Mm-hmm. These lights actually are Restoration Hardware, and I searched and searched, and I found those on Amazon for $1/4 of the price.
How do you do that search? Are you doing a reverse image search? So explain that to them. That's one of your tricks about how you source, right?
So when I'm looking for things, I go to websites like Restoration Hardware, Our House, those types of places, Pottery Barn, and I find really high-end looking type things. And when something catches my eye, I'll take a picture of it, I'll reverse Google search it in the image thing, and I try and find it for a cheaper. Not every time, but sometimes you get lucky. These were the 100% identical light fixtures from Restoration Hardware.
How much did you save on those versus on buying them on Amazon versus Restoration?
They were literally $1/4 of the price.
So those would be how much?
I think those were like $1,600 on Restoration Hardware.
For all 3?
Yeah.
And what did you pay for those?
Probably like $400, maybe even less, but they came in sets of 2. So we have an extra. There is one in a box, so they did come in a set of 2. So yeah, that was a huge find for me right there.
And there you can see the before for the kitchen, and then here's the before for the lovely dining.
Another flooring carpet. So in this room, I wanted to create a cozier cabin feel. I wanted something small and intimate. This is where the TV is. Everyone's going to be getting cozy on the couch, by the fire, watching TV. So in here, the plaid wallpaper was my favorite.
Watching the Miami-Nashville soccer game in about an hour.
Yep. But the plaid wallpaper, that was one of my favorite things. I love plaid, and I'm always telling people, like in the Smokies, one of my things that I can't stand is when people do like the bed in the bag, plaid bear bedding that's very old. I love plaid, it just needs to be done right, not the bed in the bag with the bears and the moose. So I did this. The theme of this house is more of bringing the outdoors in. You'll notice we're surrounded by the trees, and so there's a lot of trees and green in the house. Well, in this room, when you sit and look out, you can see the trees, but there's a lot of sky. And so that's when I brought the blue in with the wallpaper. So there's a little bit of green in it, but there's a lot of blue. So it's bringing the outside in once again. You have the sky, the trees, everything is pulled together in a very cozy atmosphere.
So 2 things I want to ask you about this. So one of my favorite things is the foam ceiling.
Oh yeah.
Right, so
wood
almost
ceiling.
nobody would do this. This looks like wood, or it looks like wood tile. That's actually foam. And then when we show you the movie theater, it looks like the old school tin
medallions,
but that's actually foam
that's
as
foam
well.
Too. It's the same brand.
So this, we had one of our inner circle members here the last couple of days. He's like, holy shit, you guys spent a ton of money. Those things are like $1,000 at Restoration Hardware.
That is the real stones. Yeah, that's not fake. But I got that on Wayfair for like $150.
So
$150.
instead of $1,000, $150 on Wayfair. And I think that's one of your strongest skill sets is sourcing.
Mm-hmm. It takes a long time. That's one thing. One of these projects is always so hard. Long and drawn out, I would say, is because how much effort I put into sourcing and finding the right thing at the right price. Right. I'm not just going to pay a huge price for it just because it looks great. I'm going to find it at a better price.
So we also we ripped out some cabinets in the laundry room. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but we added a stackable here. The other thing I will show you if you want to come out here, we had a brand new Weber grill that was already here, but for my inner circle members tonight, I actually added a smoker, and we're smoking some Wagyu brisket and some sausage for them. We got one brisket that's done, so that way now they can do burgers or steaks, and they can actually smoke at the same time as well. We added this mega fire pit out here that was all custom done. Bria and I picked out all of the stone. We had to redo it after the first time.
I was out here for 8 hours one day in the rain with a crane, placing every single rock. After 8 hours, I wasn't happy. I went and bought bigger rocks, and we came and did the following week another 8 hours of moving and placing every single rock.
Just to give you a little feel for it, if you can see where the wood is stacked, that's the biggest boulder behind it. That is 3 tons. The one on this side's about 2.5 tons, the one on the other side's about 2.5 tons. So you can see the views from down there. We also, that grass over here, Caleb, that is where the wedding event, that's where the ceremonies happen for the weddings. You notice how it's built up and it's all newly sodded. We spent $68,000 on dirt, $17,000 on sod, and about $11,000 on sprinklers to raise that 5 feet 7 inches. So that way Bria, who's about 5'7", 5'8", can sit there on a chair, look through the trees, which I took down 3 trees, and see the peaks during the summer when they're at the wedding ceremony. The other thing back here, 2 things. If you can visualize all the way where these rocks are, all the way around the house, all the way to the front of the house, it had a green chain link fence, overgrown 15-foot tall maple trees all the way around, and lava rock all the way around the house. We ripped all of that shit out. That cost us about $15,000, $20,000, and then we replaced it with everything. You see the bench here, but if you zoom in on that right there, Caleb,
If you're at the right angle, yeah, it looks like mountain peaks.
those are the peaks that Bria designed out of the rocks, and it literally, if you were in the hot tub right here to your right and look right over those, you're seeing the peaks almost in the exact same formation. We also added the deck. We're not going to walk down there because it's raining. So creating the marketability and the separation from everybody else, there's a 6-person hot tub here, a 4-person sauna, and on the other side's another 6-person hot tub. Inside, there was already a built-in 8-person sauna. So we have 2 saunas, 2 hot tubs, and 2 fire pits. Nobody's gonna do that. That gives me the insulation and protection so people aren't gonna copy me. But there's also something really different that's never been done in this market before. We see it all the time in the Smokies. We see it all the time in Asheville, North Carolina. It's never been done in Montana. And it actually has never been done in our... So if you know mine and Bria's history, we created an industry of glow-in-the-dark miniature golf courses. And we opened them all over the country. We're kind of known for glow-in-the-dark miniature golf courses. So for the first time ever, we have a glow-in-the-dark game room. And these are not Spencer's Gifts blacklights. You can see this unbelievable mural. If you know who Corey Kozak is, she is the best muralist in our industry. And she literally did about 10 to 12 coats in here, Bria, and I think this took her, just this one room took her 8 days.
Yes, because of how many layers upon layers upon layers it took to get the full effect of the paint.
And these are our custom special FX lights from Hollywood. They typically only do like major television production, but this is the paint and the actual light fixtures that we used in our glow-in-the-dark miniature golf courses.
And surprise, I have a 4th one coming. I called and talked to the people. Oh, did I arrive?
Oh no, that's the light. That's the
bulb.
extra light bulb. Yeah.
I have a fixture coming because they were out and they made one. They had it and they shipped it yesterday.
Oh,
so
nice.
we will get it. Should be here this week.
So this will be even 25%
Yep,
brighter once we
everything,
get that in here.
Exactly.
And just one pro tip I want to give you guys. I know we don't have everything turned on in here, but a lot of you go and spend $2,000 on the all-in-one arcade game because it has 400 games. I want you to visualize this. Look, I've got Mortal Kombat, Terminator 2, NBA Jam, Golden Tee, Fast and Furious, Big Buck Hunter, Miss Pac-Man, and Galaga, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. You have 400 in your all-in-one, but I got 7 times the fucking marketing here when I turn these things on for photos and everything. I want you to always remember that. You spent $2 grand, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500. It's 3,500 bucks. So I spend an extra $1,100, $1,200, $1,300, and I get 7 times the marketing that you get with that all-in-one. Are you ready to run your STR business like a real business? Baselane gives you everything you need in one place. Saves you hours every single month on your banking side and reconciling all the stuff that we all hate doing as STR owners in the back end in bookkeeping. Look, protect your money. You don't want to be mixing personal funds and property funds. That's a total rookie mistake. Baselane keeps you organized and your funds separate. It is the easy button if you're using Stessa or QuickBooks or any other component, and especially if you're a co-host or have multiple properties like me, because it quickly you can go in and you can add property after property after property and set everything up individually. Even when you go to Costco and you buy $300 worth of toilet paper for 3 properties at one time, one click, split, 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 boom, it all gets assigned to the correct property. I've got a special deal for you from Baselane. All you have to do is start today and get a free $100 when you sign up for Baselane and fund your account, and they'll drop it right into your account when you get started. All right, why don't you show them the next room? Lights are on, ready for you and Caleb to walk in there. This was a 3-car garage, by the way. This is 2 cars, and then Bria's gonna show you the single car.
Yeah, we added this wall right here and the football in the back. So this is the movie theater. So you can see in here, this is the theater. We've got 12 movie theater seats, which the electricians, not only did they run electrical aside, they ran them behind each chair so that all the chairs.
That's pretty cool.
Trevor, Shane saw that and he's like, crap. So if you look behind here, there's literally a strip. You probably can't see it with the camera, but behind each one, there's a long strip with outlets, and they wired each one of these chairs for outlets, and they are now plugged in so they can be used. Yes.
Awesome. So I want to show you a couple of things in here, right? So what you notice in here, see the ceiling I was talking about?
It's kind of hard to see with those lights. Let me turn.
It's very hard to see.
Here, turn that down. I don't know. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's the foam ceiling, right? So you know you don't see up there? Remember, we're in the garage. And most of you, when you do a game room or something like this in the garage, you literally leave the tracks and all the stuff from the garage door up. We've removed all of that in the game room. We remove it here. The wall on the back of the movie theater, the wall on the back of the game room is a faux wall. So that way this looks like it's finished, like it's supposed to be here. Now, Caleb, get a shot down here. You look at, oh my God, that's concrete. You guys didn't finish it. We ran out of carpet. We didn't run out of carpet. These are rugs. The platforms that the chairs are sitting on are standalone and laid on top of each other. So that way we can easily and quickly remove them. We can knock the wall down behind you. I can turn this back into a garage for less than $2,000. If I lay carpet tiles, if I glue this stuff down, then I'm boxed in. And I can't unwind this when I sell this for $5 million to somebody that wants it as a second home and not an STR. These are the intentional things that we're thinking about. So I have multiple exit strategies because look, we're pretty much dating our short-term rentals. Unless we're doing this for a lifestyle asset, part of our life plan, and me and you are going to use it in retirement, and we will never stay here ever.
It's pretty big.
It's too big for our family. The only time we'll be here is when we're hosting events and doing that type of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Teaching, doing B&B camp, which is going to happen in a few days. We have like 80 of our inner circle members arriving today. Outside of that, we won't stay. You're not even staying here on your girls' trip, are you?
Either here or out the river house.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh, one thing we added too, a plus, is the heater, both in here and in the game room, because it's garage, it's cold, it's Montana, it's gonna be freezing.
Let me tell you the secret about these. These are called Envy heaters. That is 1,000 watts, and it just plugs right into the wall. You don't, my electrician, they went in and they hardwired it, but you'll see ones as we go in the event center, you just plug them straight into the wall. You don't need to do 240. 1,000 watts, and it's smart, controlled by an app. And
it will only work heat if it's mounted to a wall, so you can't like set it down and worry about falling it. Right. Once it's mounted and secured, that's the only way it works. So you don't have to worry about anyone bumping it off.
eheat.com.
So this was originally an office, if you want to come on in here. I went back and forth on this one, trying to figure out what to do. I was going to do 2 small kids' beds, but we decided the queen bed was going to be a little bit better in case couples came. We had kids can still sleep in here, but adults as well, versus the 2 kids' beds.
And the Fox kind of still ties into the bathroom.
The Fox pulls in from the bedroom, or the bathroom, exactly. Everything pulls through. More trees. I wanted to bring the outside in. And I will say, when I was putting that wallpaper up, 32 inches of the top was just white. And I wasn't happy with that, so I cut 32 inches off, put that up. I painted the bottom with leftover paint that Corey had from this tree right here. And then Patrick just stained and added the rail, so it completes the wall.
Let's show them the master, and you can.
Yes.
So one of the things that I love, my favorite thing is the ghost trees. We love skiing, snowboarding. Whitefish Mountain's just down the street, and they're famous for their ghost trees at the top of the mountain. So you kind of brought that into the master suite. Now also understand, when we have weddings, most likely this is where the bride is going to be staying, right?
Yes. So my intention for the design of this room was I wanted something very ethereal, light, angelic. So ghost trees are trees that are so covered in snow you can't even see the tree. All you see is the snow on it. So we did the ghost trees around, and I wanted to go with more of a light blonde wood. It keeps with the light tones. The bedding is very intentional as well. There's 3 different textures going on in the bedding. We have the gauzy duvet cover, we've got the linen quilt, and then we've got the chunky knit blanket at the top. So we have the 3 different textures along with the pillows. It just gives it a very luxurious feel. So when people are coming for their wedding, this is the bridal suite. They want to feel like they're in a very luxurious place. This is the room to be in.
And this is kind of your standard 10 pillow design setup, right? You usually have between like 9 to 10 pillows on, specifically in the master, maybe like 7 or 8 in a regular bedroom. Why the coffee bar right there behind you? I mean, we're on the main floor. We're only like 35 feet from
The kitchen.
So, I mean, I'm going to tell you what. Let me answer that. So,
Okay.
your door, you have a bunch of people here. Your door's locked. You wake up, you roll over, you grab a cup of joe, and you get a little snuggles in.
Or you walk out to your private deck that nobody else has access to except you.
And
You
watch
sit
the
out here,
sunrise.
you watch the sunrise, you look at the view.
So I need you guys to visualize, because it's been raining and it's overcast, and Caleb doesn't have Zoom. But if you're looking right through that canyon and slightly to the left at about 8 o'clock in the morning during the summer, and about 4 o'clock in the morning, you're sitting here enjoying your cup of joe, and the sunrise comes right through Glacier National Park. That's sick.
I mean,
Right?
the sun rays literally like burst through. It is the most amazing thing.
So-
And yeah, Corey
sorry.
actually recovered the quote.
She did. She captured it. But this is why we got to have Andrew Keller level photos. We have a good photographer here, and he shot our house, and he did a good job. But I think the difference between Andrew and him is going to cost us at least $100,000 a year. So now we are flying Andrew out to reshoot in the dead of winter. But the cool thing he'll be able to get is going to be the first ever ski run in the history of Airbnbs. You start right up there, you come right down here, boom, you got a couple of turns. Literally you can get about 10 or 15 snowboard turns, kids sledding. It's never been done before. Soaring Eagle Lodge, the very first ski run, will be open in 13 days. All right, now really the magic of the master suite, right? Pretty big renovation on the left-hand side over here.
So you can see it was, the built-in tub. These faucets that were on the sink, they were genie lamps. Literally like rub the genie lamps.
Talk about the most important part right here.
Yeah, so we ripped all this out. We went in, we put a freestanding bathtub. And
That looks very expensive. How much was that bathtub?
This is from Home Depot. I paid a little extra for the fluting. It was probably around $1,000, $800, something like that.
But people are going to look at that, and that looks like a $5,000 bathtub.
And so the bottom part, since I wanted the faucets in the wall, we had the contractor bump the wall out so that the plumbing would fit. And then we were able to separate the top and the bottom tile. So we did the big, huge 2x4 tile slabs on the bottom. And then we did the accent tiles cross top, carried it all the way to the ceiling so it looks finished. It doesn't stop. Whereas like you see the first one, it literally is like 18 inches and stops. So we carried it all the way up. Shower, same thing. The 2x4 large slabs all the way to the ceiling. We put the shaving niche at the bottom, the large niche on the top for bottles.
If you look at the closet, and our stuff's in here, so you won't get the full effect, but this isn't for my boots and shoes and everything. This is the pedestal with the full-length mirror for the bride. That's for her mother, that's for her maid of honor, that could be mom and grandma, whatever that is.
And then the hook over there to hang the dress on, so it's not hanging on the ground.
So once again, very intentional to who our buyer persona is. If you don't know what a buyer persona is, it's a fictional representation of your ideal customer. For Bria and I, this is wedding Wendy. It's also mother of the bride Mary, if she's making the decision on what's going to happen, or father of the bride Frank, who's writing the check for it typically. But as an just standalone Airbnb, it's always wealthy Wendy for us, whether it's the one-bedroom condo or it's a mega super property like this. So these things are extremely intentional. So make sure you're always taking care of the booker. That's another reason why the coffee bar is in here. That's why we're doing that for the bride.
And once again, the room is very white, ethereal. Oh, and the rug is the right size for the room as well. This is not your typical 8x10. This is an 11x15. So it fits the space of the room. Make sure your area rugs fit the space of the room. They're not too small.
And I think one thing that's super important is you watch all 3 levels of this house. We're just finishing up the main level. We're going to go upstairs next. You'll see some major things you've probably never seen before downstairs. But the flooring, which Bria said we had 7 to 8 different types of flooring in this house. Outside of the bathrooms, it is the same flooring on all 3 levels. I think it's like almost 6,500 feet of flooring.
The basement, we were literally 12 boxes short from what we had, and they stopped carrying it. So I had to pivot, return the others that we had extra of this, and I got a different flooring down there, which actually turned out to be a good thing because it's much darker down there in the basement, so the flooring is a little bit lighter, so it looks a little better down there in the darkness. So I had a vision of when you look out the window, all those trees, they're covered in the mist, you can barely see them at the tops, and as they get closer to you, they look darker. So what Corey and Isaac did is they started at the top floor, and the trees are in the tops of the trees out in the view, they're covered in the mist. As you come down, how they gets misty. And then as you come down lower, they become darker and clearer, just like you're standing right here. And as you come all the way down here, they get darker and clearer as if you're actually standing at the base of the trees looking out. So it goes in real life from the top to the bottom floor, the mist, all the way down to standing at the trees. Corey and Isaac did an amazing job capturing that. So this room, this wall was not here. If you come in, this was just one giant open room, and they were using it as movie theater, but it's not really a theater, but like a video thing. And so they just had chairs sitting in the middle of the room. Once again, a couple of different paint colors throughout the room. So what we did is we built this box, which has 2 king-size beds in it. So this becomes 2 king suites. They have the curtains, blackout curtains for privacy. They can close those off while they're in there. There's a niche with electrical charging outlets and a light in there, so each one has their own lights. We did the trees on the both sides to help, once again, bring the outside in, kind of makes it feel like they're out in the forest, they're in a little cozy cabin. And then back here, we have another bed, another king-size bed. So down here, we have 3 king-size beds down here. And this was the bed that actually came with the house. It was in the master bedroom. We got rid of every single piece of furniture here in this house, except for this one bed frame. We just moved it down here for this room. And you'll notice the flooring is a little bit lighter. It's the same style as upstairs, but it is a little bit lighter, but it goes with the basement feel. Another amazing mural that Corey and Isaac did. Check this out. How amazing is that? That mural's amazing. If you look on the ceiling, the sky goes across and then it dissipates. It's really cool. So this room originally was just a giant room, and they had it as their gaming room. So where this pole is right here in this picture is right here. So we had the contractor pull out this wall right here and make 2 bedrooms. So that was why this mural came about, is because it became a darker room once we put these walls up for the natural light to come through. So instead of doing a snowy mountain type mural, we decided we wanted to make it look sort of heavenly and bright. So it's springtime, basically, here in Montana. She got the picture from this area, and if you look up here, she tried to kind of create runs on the ski slopes.
That is very, very close to what the front side of Whitefish Mountain looks like.
Yeah, so she tried to recreate exactly the slopes.
And for those of you at home, yes, if you come skiing here in March and April, it does look like this down here, but there is still snow up on the mountains.
And once again, distance, as you get closer, all the flowers are big and bold and close to you. Very intentional.
So one of my favorite things that you've done on this entire project are in these 2 rooms.
This is my favorite designed room of the entire house. This one right here. This is
when
my
I
favorite.
look at that mural, she had Patrick come in and frame it. To me, that looks like a $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 picture that would be sitting in Restoration Hardware that doesn't have that effect if it's not framed.
So the reason I did this is because, one, I needed to save money on the mural. If you take the mural all the way to the side, you're going to pay a lot for it. Yeah. But my intention is if I put this up here and then had him frame it, it looks like a giant piece of artwork.
Correct.
So it becomes different than just a mural on the wall that goes all the way across. It's now an intentional piece of art. And this room is my absolute favorite in the entire house.
I agree with you. And then Caleb, you can just get a quick shot here in the room next door. Very similar thing.
This is a queen.
The bedding, queen bed versus king, and just take a quick look at the artwork.
I did the same thing in here as well with the artwork. I just had him frame it to the side. It looks like it's just a giant piece of artwork.
We've got a bathroom that we've updated in there. This is the 8-person sauna right here. And then this is a bathroom that we added. So I'm walking into the old bunk room, and we took a portion of the bunk room and added this bathroom. Since we added 3 bedrooms down here and expanded a movie theater into the king suites that Bria showed you, and then now we're gonna show you really the last room down here, which is the bunk room. Really the 2 bunk rooms down here, Bria, I think have kind of been inspired by 2 of our other properties, right?
Yep.
This is the bathroom.
This used to be just this whole thing was open. This wall wasn't here, it was just a giant open room. This is the bathroom he just took you in.
The old room.
It was just a giant open room.
And then if you turn around, you can see the new queen over queen bunks, custom built in.
And each one has their own little niche with electrical, light switch, and charging plugs as well.
And then to the right, you can see the custom bathroom that we did that was a very large walk-in closet.
Yeah, this was just the closet. We added the bathroom, the plumbing, everything. So now this bedroom has its own bathroom.
Very, very challenging because we have radiant heated flooring throughout this entire house, and we had to run plumbing from an existing bathroom and then tie out to the existing septic. Last stop on the tour, we've got 3 bedrooms to show you upstairs. So all en suites up here. Bria put in a working station.
So it was just a desk and a lamp and a chair, and I had bought the mount, but it didn't look complete. So I just got this picture frame, put it up there. The mount was just blending into the wall. So literally I just came up here, 2 seconds, painted it, threw it up.
And put a picture frame around it.
Yeah, just put this, it's just hanging there. So.
And it looks totally fucking cool when you walk in the front door and then you look up here and see that.
But it just adds a little pop of unexpected.
So this was the worst bedroom in the house by far.
Yes. The people we bought it from, their daughter lived here, and she had custom painted her own mountain murals over and over again. There were layer upon layers of paint everywhere.
And behind that curtain was actually a 3-foot window, which would be right over this bed in the center of the mural looking down into the family room that we had to.
It was a mystery window. We don't even know why it was there. And once again, I changed up the mural here, the glacier goat, something very unique to this area. So I did want to do something different here. King bed, of course.
And then similar tile, glass door shower.
This was a bathtub with like really weird plumbing and jets and stuff in it. Pulled it out, made it a walk-in shower.
Not that anybody really cares about closets, but if you ever have a huge walk-in closet, you can come and see here. We literally just probably spent $600-700 to
We just put
drywall in. And
yeah, we added the wall right here to close that off. We're using that for linen storage, towel storage, and then the door locks. The guests have this area for the closet. And this room also has a private deck. And this will be Gentry's room because you can see the planes landing.
Oh, that's right. She will love that.
So this was just a basic beige bedroom. Not much to it. Beige bathroom with an insert shower.
The wallpaper reminds me of the wall out there.
The mount, yeah. So something a little different. This is wallpaper, which is a repeated pattern versus a mural, which is a scene. So I want to do something a little different here. This reminded me of my mom. And so I literally designed this room thinking of my mom with the lighter bedding, the light green moss color with everything. It just seems very light. And
is that because when we were here with her, she was staying in this room and we were staying in the room next door?
Yeah, but everything I was like, you know, this, she would like this, she would like this. I really have my mom in mind when I designed this. And a lot of parents will be here with their kids if they're getting married. And so I thought this was a really cool thing for parents.
And then just quick look in the bathroom. Once again, an ensuite, small bathroom, but basically the same thing. And you notice all the tile is the same in the
throughout
the
yes.
showers. And the last bedroom, and as you guys are walking through and hopefully going back and rewatching this, remember, every ensuite has 10 pillows on the bed. Mm-hmm. Every one of them does. The designs are completely different.
The king beds, yeah.
I love these chairs in here. I wish they would have been here when we were staying here. That is literally Lowe's peel and stick wallpaper that I picked up for Bria when I was just going to run an errand. She's like, hey, pick up some wallpaper. And I FaceTimed her when I was there. She picked it out. That was up in probably an hour.
Less than that.
And we debated on even painting it. So I painted the inside of the closets. And a lot of people will do all this in a bedroom, but then they don't do anything with the closet. And then when that closet door's open, the room makes the room look like shit.
It's just a little added.
Yeah, the other thing you didn't mention is you see the doors. You actually had all the doors which were white or
they were all white, yeah, like a beige white color.
And you went and painted them that dark charcoal color.
Mm-hmm. Peppercorn, Sherwin-Williams peppercorn.
I think those doors really transcend the entire.
Not only did we paint all the doors, we changed out all the levers as well, so they're a more modern lever as well.
Do not sleep on changing out your hinges. I mean, my contractor Sean, I love him, but he thought I was crazy when I wanted to switch out all the hinges. I look at those things when I'm looking at a listing or we're in a house, and then you know it's kind of a
dated,
price-cutting, shitty, renovation job. So remember, our intent was to build a $5 million property here. And if you're trying to take a $300,000 property to a $500,000 property or $600,000 property, which is basically what you did, $395 PCB, 2-bedroom, condo, and that thing when John Hodge gets done with the building is going to be worth $650 to $675. And we have the nicest 2-bedroom condo in that building. Mm-hmm. We have the nicest 1-bedroom condo up in the shittiest condo building on Whitefish Mountain. And now that is worth about $50,000 to $75,000 more than any other condo inside. It doesn't have to be a big property like this to be a super property.
This one we kept a tub, so there are 2 bathtubs in the house. People come with kids. We did leave. We didn't turn them all into walk-in showers. We intentionally left a bathtub, so there are 2 bathtubs in the house.
And the last thing that we're gonna show you is I'm gonna take you over to the Super Factory, Whitefish Peaks, and the Soaring Eagle Lodge Event Center, and most importantly, the 406 Pickleball Club. And I'm gonna show you how we've been able to create 3 revenue streams here to where if we crush, we're probably gonna do $800,000 to $900,000 in revenue here a year, really kind of underwriting. I underwrote it at about $500,000 when we had a $300,000 budget. But then I think realistically, we can probably do 700 in 2026. But if Emil Sekel, the #1 revenue manager in the industry, and my revenue manager at Inner Circle, if he can crush, we might be able to hit 8, maybe even 900,000. And it's interesting because of the changes that we've done. Not only have we added value to the house, but we have we're partnered with the #1 wedding planner in the industry here, who will be handling all of our wedding events. They were charging $15,000 a weekend. She just, I think, closed one. She did a walkthrough.
She told me they were going to do a walkthrough.
And it's like $35,000 for our first one. And just like we use Price Labs and dynamic pricing, we're starting at 35, then we're going to 40, then we're going to 45. Every 3 weddings will raise it $5,000.
And she thought you were crazy when you said you need to raise the price. She said, no one will pay for that. She did first walkthrough.
She came over here and I showed her a few days ago. She's like, oh my God. And I said, Sarah, I told you, I don't around.
So a quick look at this before. You can see the green on this wall at the end of the hallway.
That goes down to the front doorway.
Yeah, and then you can see how more updated it looks now.
Once again, super intentional as we walk over here. Rocks all around the backyard, the big fire pit rocks. We dropped about 7 tons of rocks here for 2 reasons. One, to tie in to the overall outdoor aesthetic, but also for safety because that's a pretty steep drop off.
Yep.
This is the Super Factory, the event center. We added the outdoor heaters.
Yep.
But I also needed to have a second fire pit. Once again, I wanted 2 saunas, 2 hot tubs, 2 fire pits. So this was just dirt and gravel, and I got some more rocks to tie into the overall aesthetic. We poured this, we'll have some soft furniture, and then even though it's a propane, it's another fire pit, right? A lot of people would have just left that dirt, but we sodded all the way over, so that way now you could even put extra seating out there, but that's probably, we might put some cornhole out there during weddings. You can see these boards right here.
2 sets of cornhole.
Exactly, 2, 2, and 2. So this is what I was talking about earlier. On a clear day, you can see all the way in to Glacier National Park. So we raised that 5 feet 6, 5 feet 7 inches, sodded the entire thing. Then it was too steep, most likely for grandma or, you know, the bride to be able, the bride in her heels to be able to walk down. So then we had to come in and add the stones, $9,000 in custom rails just so we're safe.
Once again, that's where the price went up.
Welcome to the Super Factory. This is where the 406 Pickleball Club will become. That's the private pickleball club. So revenue generation #1 for this. And here comes Patrick Switek and Eric Corson and Tom Mundy. Come on in, guys, a couple of our Inner Circle coaches. How's it going, buddy? Thanks for coming.
Brother? Of course. Thanks for having me.
This place
Corson,
is ugly.
how are you, buddy?
How are you? Here, man.
Good to see you. Patrick is our co-hosting coach at the Inner Circle. Eric Corson is our local ski instructor at the Inner Circle. He actually has the STR Tech Talk Facebook group that all of you guys should be in. He is our, I got to get this right, our operations. Well, you gave me something very specific. You wanted your title to be. It was like Director of Operations and Technology or something.
I use the word director.
So he's all about the technology and everything. And then we've got Tom Mundy. I know he looks a little bit like Easy E. We'll just get that straight.
Thank you.
Tom is a CFO, very experienced businessman, and he is our back office and bookkeeping expert. OG in the mastermind, 3 years in the mastermind, and Patrick, he's just like this Joshua, just rando that they probably picked up on the way here. You can see the doors that open here. This is a wedding venue. We've got the stage set up kind of for the Super Factory. So we'll have, I think, 75 Inner Circle members that will be here. We just had 25 that were here the last couple of days, and then we'll have about 150 to 200, I don't know the number, for B&B camp that will be here as well. Once again, a lot of intention and things that we've had to made with upgrades when we bought this. These stairs were installed completely wrong and backwards. There was no railing here. That's the crazy thing. That was scary.
And then they were warped.
So we replaned them, we took them all off, replaned them, come under here, you need to get a shot under here. And these are things, Justin Ford will really appreciate this, but you need to understand. That was the plate that it was sitting on. So with the pressure on this coming down, they were all warped, so it was like convex on top of it. So you see how big the plates are? We took them off, we routed them out, now the plates are this long, so they're gonna stay stable. We completely remodeled the bathroom, just a basic bathroom down here.
This is more of like a wheelchair access bathroom because when events happen, we'll bring a trailer in with porta potties, like luxury bathrooms on the trailer.
If there's over 150, because we also added a bathroom upstairs.
But yes, this was more for if someone had a wheelchair that they would have access to this.
So this was just literally a shit show back here. And the caterers didn't like working with it, so I punched a door out right there, literally asphalted all the way over there so they could have easy access. All this stuff is gonna be moved out in the back. I just had a storage unit that's like 14 by 36 feet. So we bought new refrigerators, new staging tables for the caterers. Inside here, we're turning this, which was just a ratty old storage room, to where they can have a sink, they can prep food, and then they'll have the stainlesses over here to make it easier for the caterers. Why is that so important? Because when we're doing events, we're doing weddings, I'm gonna be tying into MPI, Meeting Professionals International. I want to have Tuesday and Wednesday meetings here. This isn't gonna be just for weddings. ILEA, International Live Association, Meeting Professionals International, wedding planners, all that stuff. We are having, in 2 weeks, a vendor day with over 150 vendors that we're hosting here. That is part of our lead generation. So if we don't have this stage and they say, oh my God, look at that. I literally went to Shauna, who owns the #1 barbecue place here and who does all of our catering. And I had her come in and consult and tell me what she wanted and what she didn't want. We're gonna make it to where the caterers want to work here and they're gonna have an absolutely amazing time. We added the projection, we added soundproofing, the speakers, all that type of stuff. And most importantly, Caleb, as we come up to the top floor for the weddings and when I host events, this is the VIP lounge and it's the bridal suite that did not exist. It's the largest bridal suite out of any wedding venue in the Flathead Valley. And I'll let Bria describe to you what she's done in here.
Not quite done yet, but the wallpaper didn't arrive until last week, so I'm gonna be putting that up this weekend. But we did the
wallpaper all along that wall, right?
Well, no, I'm gonna put it sort of in panels and I'm gonna have Patrick come in and do framing. So
just like the downstairs bedroom.
It'll be like framed panels of art instead of doing the entire wall. The chevron flooring, we did that in a lighter color. Once again, the bridal suite VIP wanted it to look very light in here, not dark and heavy.
Is this the same flooring that we have in Dragonfly, our beach house?
It's the same floor, but this is in the chevron pattern, yep. Once again, got the 5th surface. We did stuff on the ceiling. It's just glued right on up there. But my favorite part are the chandeliers. And it looks like you guys moved chairs around.
Yep.
But if you look at these, there's tree branches in there. So once again, I want to bring the outside in, the trees, and then you have all the crystals that hang, really cool. So these are makeup mirrors, they light up. And so if the bridal party's here and they need to get ready before everything, they can some sit down. These are little swivel stools. They can get their makeup done, do real quick. And once again, just for a touch of fun, we did the chandeliers. Right here, the little crystal chandeliers. But they're chandeliers, we have 2 specific seating areas. We have this one with the 4 swivel chairs around this area, and then we have 3 couches over there, so you can get 9, 10, 11, how many people? 13 people in here? Yep. Seat comfortably.
The wine fridges and the champagne fridges, we have 2 of those in here. That's new. They weren't in here when I was in here the other day.
Yep, I bought these exactly for that wine, champagne, a VIP touch. They're retro, they pull out. You can get full bottles of wine in there. They have the temperature controls on them. These are those Rocco retro.
Oh God, now I know why we spent $1 million.
But they have the gold handles, very nice.
I see these on TikTok and Instagram all the time.
And so one thing too I did here, if you look in these cabinets, these are plastic, these are disposable little champagne flutes, but they have the little gold on them, just something fun for the guests when they come, wine glasses. Over here we have snacks. People, if they're, you don't want people passing out during a wedding ceremony, get a little nutrition in them. Coffee bar over here with disposable cups. There's not a dishwasher here. That's why all the cups are disposable. So we have that as well.
And then the last thing is
just a bathroom.
The bathroom that we added. So that way all the supplies, because we took the supply room and turned that into the kitchen staging area. Yep. So the big stuff will go in the storage behind us. And then the toiletries and the coffee bar stuff and everything that we need in here will go inside of this room. Yep. Cool. And then once again, even while you're in the pooper, you can still have a really nice view. All right, so thanks for taking the tour of Soaring Eagle Lodge.
It was a long one, but we didn't want to miss anything.
So we got to get to our Inner Circle members. Thanks for joining us. This is the longest YouTube video we've ever done. I think it's going on about an hour. So 2 things I want to leave you with. Number 1, if you have questions about where she sourced anything or any of the designs, just leave a comment down below on YouTube. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.